Hey gang, so I've been depression binging a lot of anime recently, and I had this idea. I'm gonna give you my top 10 lists of top anime betrayals. The Japanese art of anime is a long-running style that encapsulates many genres. Often characterized by bombastic characters and strange love triangles that are best described as paralleling Rube Goldberg machines. Needless to say, these betrayals are gonna get wacky. Number 10. Sasuke Uchiha leaves Konoha. Naruto, Episode 109. Sasuke Uchiha was a meaningless side character in the Japanese anime Naruto, serving no purpose other than to be a brooding emo boy and eye candy. Sasuke's most notable achievement was being a rival to Rock Lee and surviving the genocide of his clan solely because he was so bad at telling time that he wasn't home when his brother Kakashi-sensei killed the Kaiba clan. Sasuke spent most of his childhood either brooding, bullying Naruto, or feeling entitled to greatness. It wasn't until the end of the first season that Sasuke's cold exterior was broken to show some compassion towards his team. Which is why it was such a shock when in Season 3 Sasuke left the village hidden in the leaves to join Orochimaru on the sound team. All in all though, the village did nothing but progress without Sasuke and his emotional baggage. So in the end, it was better for everyone. Number 9. Scrappy-Doo, the 2002 live-action Scooby-Doo movie. Anyone born before 2000 except for Michael remembers Scrappy-Doo, the young, stupid, and fiery nephew of the titular Scooby. Scrappy-Doo was best known for his willingness to throw hands with any monster regardless of any size differences. Scrappy-Doo is well known in the scientific community for his contributions of his time to researching drugs related to mesothelioma. Despite spending hundreds of hours being pumped full of experimental drugs, the trials yielded no results. Scrappy has since lived with the long-term side effects of these trials. Fans at the time were sympathetic. Scrappy had spent the majority of his screen time being annoying and hilariously inept, combined with his inability to form cohesive thoughts post-trials. Scrappy-Doo eventually left the entertainment industry for good. That was until 2002 when on a Mystery Inc. reunion tour to a tropical island, it was discovered that Scrappy-Doo had since murdered a man, replaced him with a bionic suit, and lured his uncle and friends to be sacrificed to demons. It wasn't until after this realization that it became abundantly clear Scrappy-Doo sentenced his uncle Scooby and the rest of Mystery Inc. to spend a week on an island polluted with 2000 ska punk. As bad as that is, it's not near as bad as our number 8. Number 8. Richard Nixon and the Watergate story arc. America, Season 37. Richard Nixon was some loser president who hated drugs, hippies, and people of color almost as much as he hated Democrats. So when Richard Nixon hired Cuban Rolando Eugenio Martinez to break into the Watergate Hotel and steal documentation that would help him secure a second term, the white power community felt betrayed by their precious president, leaving many of them crying in the street, "Why wouldn't you hire a good, honest, white criminal?" Feeling that Nixon only continued the American pastime of shipping jobs overseas. The reason this betrayal is so low on our list is because Democrats claim the incident was foreshadowed heavy-handedly by mentions of Tricky Dick so early on in the season.
I have never heard or seen such outrageous, vicious, distorted reporting.
Number 7. The Nintendo PlayStation. Nintendo, Volume 3. Shigeru Miyamoto is one of the few recurring protagonists in the Japanese anime anthology series Nintendo, having appeared in almost every episode of all volumes to date. During Volume 2, what fans refer to as the Super Nintendo arcs or SNES arcs, an homage to the 90s zeitgeist of making everything extreme or super, talks were held with Japanese toy company Sony, who had previously made a television designed specifically for the Nintendo series. Sony had plans to work on a third volume of Nintendo using both improved disc technology and 64-bit processors. Sony was set to release the Nintendo PlayStation, a children's jungle gym adorned with recurring Nintendo characters Shigeru Miyamoto, Luigi, and That's So Raven. However, at the last moment, it was decided that a company by the name of Philips, literally who, would instead be chosen. creating the Philips CDI, the worst DVD player of all time. It literally only had 3 DVDs, and they were episodes of Nintendo featuring the character Zordla, localized entirely for the North Korean market. Sony was so distraught they entirely skipped the mildly misogynistic emo boys stage of their breakup and immediately moved on to self-improvement by creating their own anime anthology series simply called PlayStation, an obvious homage to their former business partners / lovers. Number 6. The Johnny Depp fanbase. Amber Heard a Who, the direct-to-VHS movie. Longtime fans of Japanese voice actor Johnny Depp turned sour on their idol shortly after a direct-to-video anime film, Amber Heard a Who, was released. The film itself follows a Mary Sue character, Amber Heard, who claims to have spent the last few years of her life in fear of the beloved voice actor. Claiming itself to be a documentary, however, when the prequel was released from the Disney Vault, it was revealed that the character Amber Heard was not only falsifying her statements in the direct-to-video release, but in fact, it was a running joke in the prequel how Amber would yell at and hit Johnny in public, because aha, so funny a woman hitting man. Longtime fans of Mr. Depp were quick to abandon him and demand he be fired from all projects and essentially blacklisted by Hollywood, something they've recently been trying to dial back since seeing the prequel. This is the problem with anime fandoms. They're so emotional and quick to anger that they caused this problem, and now they might not be able to fix it. Something that makes me realize the necessity of not only checks and balances in the justice system, but a stark reminder that jagoffs like myself and other anime fans have no business weighing in on or punishing suspected criminals. Number 5. Chef, South Park, Season 10. Isaiah Hayes is the one and only voice actor for Chef, the stoic and wise black cafeteria worker of South Park Elementary. Contrary to the sagely musings of the hedonistic chef Hayes portrays, Isaiah himself is actually a fucking moron and Scientologist. When the anime South Park held its Scientology episode lampooning the dark cult-like behavior of Scientologists, Isaiah Hayes became mad butthurt, leaving the show. South Park responded by reusing old voice lines to turn Chef into a chomo. Matt Stone, Trey Parker, I understand that Isaiah is a chump, but the way you did my man Chef was why you two have earned the number 5 spot on this list of anime betrayals. Number 4. Archduke Franz Ferdinand. The Gothic States. Prussia Season 40/Germany, the prequel. Japanese anime Prussia decided to create a backdoor pilot in their 40th season for an entirely new anime called Germany. This episode in particular was a 2-hour special titled The Gothic States, starring Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria and Gavrilo Princip, the secret Bosnian lover of Franz. The majority of the episode centers around Franz and Gavrilo exploring their homosexual relationship amidst the backdrop of 1900s Europe. At around the 30-minute mark, Franz leaves his wife to run away to Italy with his lover Gavrilo. However, spoiler alert, Franz decides to get back with his wife so people will stop calling him gay. In a fit of blind fury and passion, Gavrilo shoots Franz and his wife. Although I do empathize with Gavrilo, I don't know if Franz's infidelity earned him the death penalty. Regardless, Gavrilo's actions do serve as a fuel for not only the first season of Germany, but also the second season of Germany. So he did help create one of the most iconic anime seasons of all times, one that is consistently rebooted in films like Saving Private Ryan, Pearl Harbor, and the Tigger movie still to this day. Still, I can't help but feel like Franz's betrayal has earned its spot as number 4 on our list. Number 3. The 2016 election, USA Season 44.5 finale. This next one's gonna be a little personal for me and many others, as both Seasons 44 and 44.5 of America are lauded as some of the best anime in the last 20 years. Barack Obama is still my favorite anime protagonist. I'm hopeful that his co-star Joe won't be a complete letdown. However, if Planet Sheen, The Cleveland Show, or Boruto are any indication, the Joe Biden spin-off will most likely be reused hot garbage that Obama already did better. However, we're not here to speculate over the unreleased Season 46. Instead, we're going to talk about how Season 44.5 ended. Now, most people would like to skip filler content. I think it's important to remind everyone of the white supremacist filler episodes from the first half of Season 44. Those filler episodes out of context are boring, but actually begin to foreshadow the finale. At the beginning of the second half of Season 44, released 2012, fans of the show are exposed to a new character, Bernard Sanderson, a roaming samurai who has taken the Nendo, his ninja way, to provide healthcare for all. Fans quickly fell in love with his exotic accent, hot-headed temper, and caring attitude. Detractors often brushed Sanderson off as being a one-dimensional tsundere-type character like Lady Tsunade, and accused writers of putting him in there only to serve the hypersexualized male fantasy. Nearing the end of the season, viewers were expecting Bernard Sanderson to defeat Hilarino Clintarelli in the Onegaishimasu sword tournament. Sanderson was even seen decapitating his foe in the 7th episode. This episode was met with loud opposition online, where fans claimed Bernard's victory was due to nothing but sexism. In an attempt to preserve the series, the writers introduced a character that's literally just a Sonic fandom OC named Elizabeth Warren. Elizabeth Warren used her powers to reverse time and banish Bernard to the future, where he could not return until halfway through the 45th season. The introduction of the Elizabeth Warren character entirely shaped the direction of the finale. It was revealed that Hilarino wasn't actually a human, but instead she was the same race of lizard person as Donald Trump. When the American populace realized the predicament, the sensible folks refused to back either lizard person. The Bernard fandom went into hiding, and the bigots who made up most of the early season filler episodes returned. Donald Trump managed to grab all of the bigots by their pussies, thereby absorbing their powers and securing victory against fellow lizard person Hillary Clinton. Writers for America, maybe next time don't retcon your story. Now you've written yourself into such a corner you had to do a spin-off story just to stay in canon. This is exactly why the 2016 election has earned its spot as our number 3 anime betrayal of all time. Number 2. Bill Cosby. The Cosmopolitan Cosby Cosmos Epilogue. Now, if you're anything like me, then you were born July 18th, 1991, and were raised in Detroit in the Detroit area watching shows like Fresh Prince, Good Times, Sanford and Son, as well as The Cosby Show on cable your mom's on-again, off-again boyfriend stole. So you might be familiar with the legacy of Monster Cosby. At one point in time, Monster Cosby was called America's Dad, for not only his comedy thick with dad jokes, but a public persona of being family-friendly and profiting off entertainment where he interacted with children such as kids say the darndest things. Also, he had a book called Fatherhood, but I can't read, so neither should you. It wasn't until the end of Monster Cosby that we learned his recurring obsession with pudding was actually a euphemism for drugging women so he could take the carpool lane. At least, I think. Again, I cannot read. However, you don't have to be illiterate to agree that kidnapping is always mostly wrong. Before we get into our number 1 worst betrayal in all anime, I've got a few honorable mentions. Mumkey Jones, the Mumkey Force 5. Mumkey Jones was, rest in peace, an edgy YouTuber who makes anime reviews. However, either through ignorance or misdirection, Mumkey appears to not understand what dictates anime, as most of the animes mentioned are often actually live-action sitcoms, religious books, or real-world events. He calls himself an anime connoisseur, but I have my doubts. It's because of a lack of clarity as to whether or not Mumkey is serious and dumb, or just satirical, that I cannot place him on this list. Susan, what is this last name? I can't pronounce this. YouTube. Susan is the undisputed empress of the Japanese manga YouTube. Now there's a few reasons she can't make the list. A key one being that mangas are not anime. They are books. As I mentioned earlier, books are stupid, reading is for the weak, it's not real art. Despite being a woman with power, one of my favorite character traits, Susan is notorious for being unclear in her laws. She has been known to allow people like Mumkey Jones to continue making satire pointing out just how evil and sick mass murderers are, only to delete his YouTube channel overnight for breaking rules that had previously been changed. However, there is a fan theory that Susan is in fact a horse in a woman's suit and not a real person, so alongside being a book, I can't in good conscience place her on this list, as horses cannot choose to betray. Number 1. Kurt Cobain, Nirvana, Season 3. Kurt Cobain was a Japanese anime protagonist notable for being the first in the grunge genre. A genre defined by female protagonists with bleach blonde hair, flannels, and facial hair. A popular genre of the 90s. In the Season 2 episode of Nirvana entitled Come As You Are, Kurt spends the entirety of the episode declaring how he hates and does not have a gun. However, in the series finale during Season 3's In Utero arc, Kurt appears to now have a gun. Kurt used that gun to then lose his iPod and become an hero. His loss is one that die-hard fans of the grunge anime genre still mourn to this day. This list was brought to you in part by the American education system. What did you think? Do you agree with my rankings? Were there any betrayals that I missed? Let me know in the comments if you want me to commit metaphorical seppuku and do more top 10 lists. Shout out to the patrons, the Knights Amalgam, who continue to fund my shenanigans, and shout out to you, the viewers, whose attention continues to sustain me. Ladies, gentlemen, everybody outside and in between, I'll see you next time. Bye for now.